biography, encyclopedia entry, newspaper article, nor courtroom transcript. I have tried to retell the life events contained in this book to the best of my recollection, calling upon old journals, correspondence, and other personal writings to help give me an accurate, if not always precise, account of what happened. In some instances, I've changed names and other identifying information in order to maintain privacy or for narrative clarity. In other instances, I retained names and identifying information so that my work doesn't feel like I'm talking about someone else's life. Occasionally, I combine two or more people, incidents, and/or events to streamline the narrative. I try to be truthful in everything shared within this book's pages, even when those truths hurt. As I've written this work, I've tried to prioritize intersectional equity by taking into account various minoritized histories and experiences, and I've tried to use inclusive language. In order for this work to also be readable, I took some shortcuts with language so that my larger point would not get bogged down. There are times when I use black people, or black folks, where some iteration of the phrase people of color could also fit. Please know that the spirit of this work is inclusivity, even in places where my language isn't as inclusive as it could be. Additionally, I come to this work as a Black, straight, cisgender, gender role non-compliant, relatively able-bodied, except for these ankles and knees, Jesus, country-born, city-dwelling, Mid-Atlantic informed, Midwest raised, geriatric millennial Christian woman, and with all the privileges and shortcomings that might accompany those identities and perspectives. I have attempted to do the work of pulling universal truths from my experiences while also attempting to speak to an audience with unique yet overlapping experiences. I don't claim to have done this well, but I gave it my best shot. Finally, I want to acknowledge and honor the fact that many, if not most, of my listeners do not share my Christian spirituality. I want to say up front that the bulk of my adult life and work experience up to this point have been in the Christian church, and so it is an unavoidable fact that parts of my story would be set there. With that said, the church is merely a setting. The truths and wisdom that I pull from the harm I experienced in the white Christian church are for anyone who wants to be free from racism. Any references to spirituality are for narrative or illustrative purposes. I'm not trying to convert you to Christianity. I hope that this work invites you in and creates space for you to ask questions, wrestle with hard truths, and experience the beauty of healing and liberation. Overture. Confessions of a Loud Black Woman. I am a loud Black woman. All of these things are outside of my control, yet I have grappled with each of them in some way for as long as I can remember. I am a loud Black woman. I am loud. I am Black. I am a woman. Loud Black woman. Each of these identities has been under attack my whole life. Proclaiming my loudness, my Blackness, and my womanness is an act of defiance and resistance. The world continuously tells Black women who we are as if we don't know ourselves. They weaponize our attributes against us, taking the things we celebrate about ourselves and twisting them into something unrecognizable, undesirable, and inadequate. When we are witty, they tell us that we are crass or insubordinate. When we display self-confidence, they tell us we are domineering. When we emote, we're told that we are exaggerating, angry, or, even worse, threatening. I refuse to allow the world to force its harsh, dishonest, and out-of-touch definitions on me, which is why I am determined to tell this world exactly who I am. By telling